Hi everyone, Aldis is speaking here. This is the trailer of the inspiring movie MA ROSA. This movie is directed by the one of the famous independent film director, Direct Brillante Mendoza. As part of his film festival, the Senior High School of Far Eastern University, Silang Cavite, went to SM Dasmariñas last October 6, 2017 to watch this movie. So before I move on to the different topics for today, let me first refamiliarize you to the plot and main characters of MA ROSA.
Para matapos ito, 200,000.
Rosa is married to Nestor, with whom she has 4 children. Rosa's family runs a sari-sari store in a neighborhood in Manila. The income from the small convenience store business alone isn't enough to meet the family's daily needs. So illegal drugs, particularly ice or crystal meth, are also sold at Rosa's store. One day, police officer arrests Rosa and Nestor for selling drugs and asks them for bail money or a bribe for the couple's release. Rosa's children, left on their own to deal with the struggles of daily life, find a way to free their detained parents.
Aling Rosa!
The characters of the story. Jacqueline Jose as Rosa. Baron Geisler as Sunpai. Mercedes Cabral as Linda.
200,000.
Felix Rocco as Jackson. Andy Eigelman as Raquel.
Libre lang yan. 50,000.
Julio Diaz as Nestor. So, let's go on to physics and physical science. The 5 physics-related activities in the movie. Number 1. Carrying of the TV. The scene where Jackson is trying to sell the TV to get some money for his parents to get out of jail. The acceleration due to gravity, you see that the greater mass causes the greater gravitational force that has to be balanced by the force you apply to the object by holding it or lifting it at a constant velocity. Number 2. Firing a gun. This happened when the police set up Jomer in a phone call from Rosa, and when Jomer arrived, the police chased him and fired by a gun. Weapons such as cannons, shotguns, and rifles work on the basic idea of conservation of momentum and the change in energy from potential to kinetic. When the trigger is pulled, the hammer hits the firing pin. Number 3. Pulling a person. This happened initially where the police raided Rosa's house and forced them out by pulling both Nestor and Rosa. Force, commonly a push or pull, more properly defined in physics as quantity that changes the motion, size, or shape of a body. Force is a vector, quantity having both magnitude and direction. It may be represented by a directed line segment. Number 4. Punching. This scene is also the same where Jackson is trying to sell TV and Jackson saw the guy that tell the police about Rosa and Jackson beated him up. When a person throws his fist, he usually ends the movement with follow through. This gives the punch maximum momentum, and it can help knock an opponent down, but the impact itself is diffuse. It's meant to jar an opponent's brain, not to crack his skull. Number 5. Raquel sleeps. This happened when Raquel was walking in an alley and slipped because of the wet floor just after getting money for her parents. When you walk, you need the friction between your shoes and the ground to give you ability to move forwards. Without friction, you would not be able to remain standing for very long, let alone walk. If someone states the amount of friction that the ground shoe contact can provide is less than you need, then you will slip over. It is thus important to know how much friction a particular surface will provide. The harm of drugs to a human body is that it can bring up different diseases and some common conditions such as acne, ADHD, AIDS, HIV, allergies, and other diseases. It can be the death of the user brought up different diseases of the body, malfunction of the organs that might affect not only the physical but also their mental health. It can also affect the relationship towards the other. As for the holistic development, morality will lessen and worsen. It might be disregarded as the usage of drugs goes on. Shabu is a crystal meth. This drug is made in laboratories unlike cocaine that comes from a plant, and huge number of Filipinos are using this because this is cheap. The effects of shabu in a person's body with changes in their mood, they become more violent and extreme loss of weight. The chemical compound of shabu are carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And the percent composition of shabu are where carbon 80%, hydrogen. As we can see in the movie, the way of living in the community is hard and chaotic. The place is overpopulated. There are several ways to solve these problems. If we will given a chance to rule this kind of country, we will surely be against corruption. Every person, police officer, and acting leaders that excuses corruption in our country will lose their job and shall be punished with the law. We will implement towards corruption. Concerning poverty, we will increase the number of buildings in our country, so that many Filipinos will have the opportunity to work for their family. We will scatter programs regarding important information that a parent should do when raising a child. When one of the characters in the story sold information to the police so that he can get his brother back, what he did is like Judas from the Decibel. The society that runs from the movie is like Babylon, full of corruptions. For Marosa's family, earning money is like a holy grain for them. Technically, in the movie, you can only be freed from the police only once you do sustained bargain. Money may symbolize as the police Achilles' heels. The government should give those people who are in poverty their needs, like foods and stuffs. The government should build many habitable centers that can help the children and elders to live. All kinds of drugs should be prohibited, and those people who are found to be guilty should be rehabilitated. People is supportive with each other. And that's all, everyone. Thank you for watching.